hân hạnh được trình chiếu một trong những bài thuyết giảng sâu sắc với tựa đề Cứu địa cầu, ngưng sản xuất thịt, trích đoạn các buổi thảo luận của Ngài Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư, phần 1 của 3 phần trên giữa thầy và trò, được giảng bằng tiếng Anh.
You heard an interview with Professor Kirk Smith at the University of California at Berkeley in the US, who said reducing methane would buy us critical time in the fight against climate change. He also said that livestock were the greatest human-caused source of methane and suggested government tax meat to reduce consumption. Supreme Master, can you please help us to understand how reducing human-caused methane will cool the planet faster than reducing CO2?
Scientifically speaking, methane ends its effect much faster than CO2, yeah? And its warming potential is greater than CO2. So if the methane is gone out, then we cool the planet quicker. And the methane dissipates out of the atmosphere in 9 to 15 years, but the CO2 lingers for an estimated range of 40 to 200 years. So because methane goes out faster and heats up the climate more, so if it goes out, then the Earth cools more and quicker compared to CO2 effect. So the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change scientists say that eliminating livestock farming would be the fastest way to bring down methane and cool the planet, thus buying critical time, in the fight against global warming, as they said. So in an interview with the Supreme Master TV, Dr. Kirk Smith stated that the CO2 emissions could still be hitting the planet 1,000 years after they are emitted. Can you imagine? So if we want to see the cooling of our planet in the next 1 or 2 decades, it's more effective to reduce methane first. And because the greatest source of methane on the planet is from livestock, so to be a vegan is the fastest way to reduce methane, thus bring cooling to the planet successfully and fast.
Thank you so much for your work. And here in Southern California, there's a drought currently, and talking about water rationing. And what do the experts in the interviews have to say?
The expert told us a lot of things, yes. They say that California right now is headed toward the worst drought in California recorded history, the worst drought they're heading to. The Sierra Nevada mountains, which supply much of the rest of California's water, is supplying now 61% of the usual amount in this past winter season. Winter season even. We're not talking about summer yet, when it's dry. California produces 50% of fruit, vegetables, and nuts that are grown in the United States. But the U.S. government has announced that farmers will not be able to buy any water from the state. Imagine this. They supply 50% of your fruit and vegetable, but now they're not able to buy any water from the state. And their state is in the drought predicament because the main source of water for farmers is expected to go dry this year. Greenhouse gases are causing deserts to expand in California. Elsewhere as well, but now we just zoom in on California, yeah? Moreover, 2 of the largest man-made lakes in the U.S., Lake Mead and Lake Powell, will be dry in the next decade, 2021. These lakes and the Colorado River system that fills them provide water to nearly 8% of the U.S. population. Now they're drying. They'll be completely dry soon. So picture all this. See, Stockholm International Water Institute states that 70% of water is used by agriculture. Of that amount, a lot of it is going into planting corn and soy, and that is to feed animals, not humans. That's why we're short of water, short of food. It's a waste of precious food, not just our precious water as well. The experts also calculate that 1 kilogram of beef takes 5,000 to 20,000 liters of water to produce, but 1 kilogram of wheat takes only 500 to 2,000 liters of water. That is 1/10, 10% of the amount of water for meat, you see? At a time when we have water shortage and all the reservoirs are dwindling at such an alarming rate, we are truly afraid that even if we don't take a shower at all, it will not do much help, because all the human uses and everything come together is only 30% of water around the world. Everything else is mostly used for meat industry, 70% of it. You see that? So even if you and I go ascetic, we don't even wash clothes. We go like the Himalaya yogis, the one who doesn't wear clothes, and we don't wash ourselves. We put ash on our body forever. It won't help the planet. Meat industry should be cut. That will help the planet. That will help to reserve our water, to refuel our lakes and our river again. That is physically and scientifically speaking. I'm not talking about the merit, the bad karmic contribution that we are doing to ourselves by harming others and torturing animals and killing them just to save our stomach. Okay? On the other hand, if we forego 1 pound of beef, we can save more water than we stop showering for half a year. Just don't eat 4 hamburgers, and you can shower half a year every day, generously. Can you imagine the big difference like that? So if we really want to save the water for the world to be able to use for our daily necessity, not to talk about future generations, then we have to change to a vegetarian diet, animal-free diet. Animal industry must be out. That's it. Thank you. Fishing contributes to global warming primarily by disturbing the complex ecosystems of the world's oceans. Balanced marine ecosystems are extremely important, as more than 2/3 of the planet is covered by oceans. They provide half of the world's oxygen and play a major part in regulating the global climate. So life on Earth truly depends very much on the ocean for survival. In addition, oceans also absorb atmospheric CO2, carbon dioxide, which directly helps to cool our planet. These are just a few among the great things that the oceans do. To disturb the balance of the seas, thus ultimately places our own lives in danger. So we could say that it is in our interest to care for the oceans if we want to survive, and all the life that they contain, including fish. Fish farms are like on-land factory farms. They have similar problems environmentally, with impact that includes polluting the bodies of waters. The farmed fish are contained in big netted areas of the ocean shore with uneaten food fish waste antibiotics or other drugs and chemicals that pass into the surrounding waters, where they harm our ecosystems and polluted our drinking source. Depleting wild fish stocks. Also, fish like salmon that are eaten by humans are usually fed huge amounts of other fishes like anchovies. Studies have found that for every kilo of salmon that is sold in a supermarket, 4 kilos of wild fish have to be caught to feed the salmon. This practice also endangers sea animals, like sea lions and birds that are thought to be a threat, are often harassed with firecrackers or loud underwater speakers, causing pain, disorientation, and hearing loss. To marine mammals and others are often even shot dead. These are just a few of the problems associated with fish farming, which have become bigger as the fishing has increased. So the issues arising from related industries like the production of food for salmon have also been on the rise. In Peru, for example, fish food is made from anchovies, which causes illness for the adults who are closely involved in its production, as well as asthma and skin disease in young children from the toxic smoke that pours out onto the streets from the factories, along with pollution to the nearby ocean waters, of course. This fish production also affects bird population, with some like the guano bird having declined by 90% in number. So the result is that consumers can buy cheap fish, but it comes with a very heavy, expensive cost to our children's health and a degraded environment. Meanwhile, if we say that the ocean ecosystems are dependent on fish populations to be balanced, then those ecosystems are extremely imbalanced right now. Scientists estimate that more than 90% of the ocean's big fish have disappeared over the last 50 years due to commercial fishing. They warned that at the present rate of fishing, there will be a global collapse of all species being fished by 2050, and say that recovery efforts need to be started immediately. So what we are seeing from these fish and marine life are signs of distress. And from the oceans themselves, we are seeing other signs, such as warming temperatures, rising sea levels, increasing acidification, and terrible levels of pollution. So global warming is affecting the oceans, which in turn is affecting the fish. This is an equally urgent situation as the one presented by livestock industry. And it has the exact same solution. Stop eating the flesh. Stop killing for food. Stop eating the fish. This will help restore the balance of both the ocean and land immediately. Fish are God's creations that we should also care for, respect, protect, not to eat. We should be looking for ways to help the fish, to protect them and all the marine life from the devastating effects of climate change. Once we start thinking in this way, we are in a better position for ourselves, for the fish, and for the planet. Thank you.
Are the recent disasters around the world somehow connected with the billions of animals slaughtered every year for human consumption?
Of course it is, huh? As you sow, so shall you reap, and like attract like, né? Scientifically speaking, spiritually speaking, we have been warned. So all the disaster that have happened around the world, of course, are connected with the human unkindness to the co-inhabitants. That was the price we have to pay for what we have done to the innocents, who have done us no harm, who are also the children of God, who has been sent to earth to help us and to cheer our days. Because generally, humans also have very good merit before they came to earth. And that's why they became human, because of their good merit. So from their good merit, there have been a give and take and deduction and addition. Otherwise, if things have not been canceling out some of the bad retribution, then it would have been worse. Or the earth might have been disappeared altogether already. But luckily, the human also do have some good merit, and they have not run out yet. Some of their good merit have not run out yet. And that's why we are still hanging in here. Like yesterday, I told one of my assistants, I said, we should feel very lucky that we here, still have water to drink. Oh my God, many countries in the world are short of water. Do you understand this? Just a basic thing. Nothing luxury, water. Keep getting shorter and shorter every day. Can you imagine? Some people go even 10 plus kilometers every day just to get water to bring it back to their family. Truly it's like that. In Africa, many countries are like that. And now in India and China, even America, many places became short of water. Basic necessity only. Why? Because they use up all the water from the river to divert it into, big farm factory, like animal farm factory. They have to use a lot of water to give the animals to drink. And then use water to grow the crops for the animals to eat. And when they kill the animals, or before they kill the animals, they have to use water to clean their pens every day and wash it down into the stream. And when they kill the animals, they need a lot of water to clean up also. And when people eat it at home, they also use water again to clean it and to cook it. So there's no end. There was enough water for all of us, plus over for everyone. We began this industry of meat diet. Then everything get worse. More hospital, more medicine, more sickness, more shortage of any kind, more temperature rise, and more suffering, more disasters, more hunger, more war. I said, killing is never right. Yes. I told the journalist, I wish I could say otherwise. That would make me even more popular. I told him, meat is one of the most powerful industry in every country. If I have not forbid you to eat meat, I would have had more disciples. Easy. We can't. I say the truth cannot be altered, no matter what. I said to him, I put myself even in danger, telling the truth. But I have to save my planet. I don't know if you want to save your planet, but I want to save my planet. I want to save my people. I don't know if you want to save your people. I want to save my people. My people is whom? It's you, your relatives, your friends, your countrymen, your world citizens, your pets, your children, your future great-great-great-grandchildren, the animals, all the harmless, meek, weak, innocent animals. These are all my people. I want to save them all yesterday already. I can't tell any otherwise. Even if we have another alternative plan to save the planet without going the whole country vegan, how? How many more people have to die? You understand me? For that, because of meat diet, because of the harmful effect of meat industry. How many more countries have to be eroded, financially kaput, for a piece of meat that we put in our mouth? How many more islands, nations have to sink for that piece of meat that we put in our mouth? How many millions more refugees, climate refugees, we want to look at for that piece of meat that we put in our mouth? How many billions more animals we want to see cram, suffer, agonizing in those cram, small crate factory we want to see? For that little piece of meat that we put in our mouth, that we could change it. We have tofu, we have all kind of protein nowadays even. It's not like we're starving without meat. It's not. It's not necessary at all to eat meat. Besides, it's poisonous. It's been proven already. Not to talk about climate change, climate refugees or anything. How many more patients we want to see languishing in the hospitals between life and death, or death because of that piece of meat that we put in our mouth? How many more families we want to break up due to this kind of disease and death caused by meat? How many more children we want to see suffer with heart disease, cancers at young age already because of meat diet? How many more family we want to see childless because women who eat meat have very less chance to conceive children? And then how many of this young aspiring mother we want to see going through, this kind of pork and pigs, what they call IVF, pregnancy? It's a painful procedure for husband and wife who have no children, have to go through like artificial insemination. It's very painful, time-consuming, agonizing, and suffering. And the hope is not 100% even. Not like you spend a lot of money, a lot of time, stressful, fighting inside with each other even because of stress for a child. Not that you go through all that and then you have a child 100%. No, not all of them are working. And how much more suffering we want to see just for that piece of meat that we could change for a better piece of protein. It's the same protein. It's just one a second hand from animals, the others direct from what the animal eat and digest it and then become the meat. It's such a waste. And how much more energies we want to waste into producing meat. How much more grains, food we want to waste to raise animals at the cost of starvation of millions of other people. Right now we have 1 billion people already go back from hunger. Every 5 seconds a child dies from hunger. Every 5 seconds. While I'm sitting here talking to you, how many children dying or dead already? How many more we want to see? how long we can afford to bargain in the face of this suffering of our own kind and of the animals, of the environment. I can go on forever, but I didn't prepare my speech. It's all really not worth it. It's all really a degrading choice to eat meat. We can't bargain. We can't say, well, let's take it easy. We probably have a better idea, a better plan than vegan. What better plan? What better plan? Even if we have better plan, suppose we have better plan, should we choose it? Should we choose a better plan than vegan, which save billions of lives, save the animals, save our children, save our planet? Should we choose a second plan? A plan B? There is no plan B. Even if there is a plan B, it's not humane to choose a plan in disregarding the suffering of our own kind, of other beings on this planet, and of the danger that we're facing, the climate change, which will easily destroy the whole planet. And, probably all or most of the beings on this planet. Sometimes people say that the meat industry, being so powerful as it is, they can lobby anything, lobby government, lobby Congress, lobby Parliament even, to support their business. To them, it's just business. But to the people, to the consumers, it's life and death. It's suffering or happiness. It's intelligence or dull-wittedness. It's not a business. A business should be providing to the people what they need to benefit them. And then, meanwhile, benefit yourself as well. That should be a good business. A business is not to give people poison either ignorantly or purposely to cause them harm, sickness, suffering, agony in any kind, just to profit ourselves. That is not a proper business. For a Christian, for a Muslim, for a Buddhist, for a Jain, for a Sikh, none of us, none of these people should do any of this kind of business. Business to kill people, business to harm people, business to kill the innocent animals, they are no good business. They are contrary to God's will, and thus we should avoid. Yes. I told you, meat industry very powerful. They can buy the government, lobby the parliament, bypass Congress. What do you think? Huh? Why there's so many advertisements about meat and milk everywhere? Even I didn't know that milk was harmful to humans' health until recently that we do research. And when we had mad cow disease, in those times even, they even say, oh, milk has nothing to do with mad cow disease. Milk is safe. And people believe it. How? How can you take something safe from something sick? And mad cow disease is not curable even. It's deadly. It's fatal every time. So how many more people we want to die for this piece of meat that we put in our mouth? How many children we want to kill for that piece of meat that we put in our mouth that we could even change for tofu or, gluten or any other things and still stay healthy, happy, and better even? Do you understand? This is a question we should ask ourselves. No plan B. No, never. Now that we know the truth, we just speak it out. No plan B, no compromise. Whatever we say, if it concerns to people's life, children's health, families' happiness, we have to do it wholeheartedly. Some young people die now, young people even die from flu. Imagine how their parents suffer. Imagine how their sister, brothers suffer. Some pregnant women die with full of hope in them. Hope for the child to be born in their family, to bring happiness to her husband, to the parents, to grandmother, father. Just die like that. Flu, swine flu. What a piece of meat that we want to put in our mouth, which is filthy, poisonous, bloody, inhumane. So there's no plan B. Is there?
No.
Okay.